that happened during her marriage. So I'm just going to put it this way. I'm going to sum it up real quick and then we're going to discuss it. She was married to a misogynistic, narcissistic
You saying it right now.
storytelling individual, according to the story that she shares on TikTok. It is a 52, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a 52 part episode where she shares 10-minute videos about her life. It is a compelling story, and the way she tells her story is so interesting. She gives you, in chronological order, the things that happened in her marriage. And she tells you throughout, too, as you listen to this, I want you to keep an open mind, but she tells you throughout that she was a fool. She now sees that she was a fool, and that's just exactly how she put it. So that's the way I'm putting it here. So I'm not calling her names, just to put that out there, but that's the way she puts it, just because there were so many red flags throughout the time period that she was married, dating and married to the gentleman. And we will not name his name because she did not name him in her videos. So tell us, Nick, what do you think about the Risa Tisa story?
Oh, Risa Tisa. I like her. I like her. I've been Risa Tisa. You know what I'm saying? I've been there, done that. You know, and I think the honest portrayal of what happened and how she got lured. She said she was kind of longing to be in a relationship and longing to be married. And you know, when you have those kind of feelings and and in your head, and hear what I'm saying, in your head, a level of desperation is out there.
Mm-hmm.
You start, you know, the bush looks like a tree to you. You know what I'm saying? and you know,
Great
it appears
analogy.
to be, oh, this is a beautiful tree.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the more she looked, she said, "Oh gosh, it's a bush." You know, and I think, you know, think, you know, it got the best of her. But I appreciate how many women and men, for that matter, have gone down this road. And I think a great movie. If she could get a movie deal on this, I think it's a home run for her. So
Yes.
my hope is that she gets a nice movie out of this,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, for her misery, you know. But
Yeah. And I think it's worth mentioning too that she had a huge following on TikTok. Like these videos were, most of them, the majority of them were 10 million views and a little higher. Nothing under 5 million views when it comes to who was watching her. So she really captured the attention of a lot of people out there. So I just wanted to mention that too, because when you said, I hope she gets a movie deal, I do too. I mean, it's just compelling the way she tells the story, and the following was absolutely amazing. But I think, like you said, Dr. Melissa, most women can identify with some parts of her story and say, you know what, I was there too. And she said throughout the series, if I could touch one woman so that she doesn't have to go through what I've been through, right? Then I've done my job, right? Because that's what this is all about. She said, I came here to show up authentically as my true self and tell my story.
And I think that's why she does have the following. I mean, even if it wasn't, if it's not for just, I want to know the story, or, we just like the tea. And even if you don't ever say or comment anything, it's just to hear that, oh, wow, this happened to somebody else. Because when you're in the middle of it, not every one of us who's been in any situation, and Fem Talk, let me just tell you, I'm novice to it. I probably watched 2 or 3 videos. I probably am it's a little more skeptical because I haven't listened to all of it or a good bit of it. But I can't negate that I have not been that woman who thought this was the one or this was the relationship and wanting it so bad that you ignore all the red flags. So I'm sure her following is filled with women who just feel like, I'm not alone.
Not alone.
That's her premise. If that was her, and that's her premise, she got it. I can honestly say.
Yeah, absolutely. And this gentleman that she was married to, that she dated for a little while, and then married. And there were red flags there before the marriage took place, but she said throughout, she wanted to be married. She wanted to
Mhm.
have a family. She wanted to be married. They were already living together. She was a spiritual young woman who didn't really believe in the living together, but did it anyway. So she wanted to be married. So she went through with it. But the
But
lies
when you did
that
it,
were told.
when she said,
Like
and one of the things she said, she did an interview on GMA with Robin Roberts, and what she said was, by the time they got married, she knew
Mhm,
that this was she should. She was too embarrassed at this time to stop it.
mhm,
And so many, I've heard that from so many women. Time they get that far is
mhm,
way too embarrassing to stop it. And again, I just wanted to like point that out because that's such a pivotal point that so many we get so caught up. People want to get have a wedding, but
mhm.
they don't want to be married.
Yeah.
They're so desperate for the wedding that they forsake the marriage and go through with this grandiose event, spend all of this money, and then around in a year or two or less and not be married anymore.
But
Exactly.
So
in her case, she didn't even do a wedding. They went to the justice of the peace and got married. I think in her case, it was more about the fact that she was a spiritual young woman and she wanted, and the fact, and her desire, right? It was,
yeah,
she thought that she should be, and then it was her desire to be. And everything that she went through, she explained that she did not, her family had no idea what was going on
mm,
until the very end of everything. They had no idea. So she didn't even share with people. That goes with, and she mentioned this too, the embarrassment of it all.
Right.
Not wanting to tell her family because she was embarrassed by the choice that she made and all of the red flags that, like you said, she had seen before they got married, but she still went through with it anyway.
Right.
so
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And
kudos to her.
when you look at the very first one, just the date is what caught my attention.
Hmm.
They met in this, non in conventional but not conventional way during COVID.
Hmm.
So everybody's reality was different then. Your mindset was different. So she was already in the mindset of wanting to be a married woman, and now it felt hastened because everything was exasperated. It was like, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. In a sense, we didn't know what was happening
This is true.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it felt like, oh my God, if this doesn't work or if this isn't the one, what is?
Yeah.
And what's next? So you wanted to believe so much, especially experience something so good, or period, not so good, but something good during that time.
Yeah.
So
And
she was
listen,
at a
he
very, huh?
yeah, no, I was gonna say when you said feel experience something good, right? Like he brought out what you would think
All
was
of the
good,
good. Mhm.
right? He brought all of that out in the beginning to make
Mm,
her feel, right, that she was getting the husband that she deserved, right? But
right.
it was all a facade. But he did do that part, especially initially. And when they met right before COVID happened, and then they decided, oh, because they were enjoying each other so much, where were they going to quarantine together, right? Which should not have been a decision made that early on, right? So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's scary about that?
Mhm.
And I will say this, and I think this is another reason so many people are compelled by the scary piece is we don't know who we're with. Like how to think that this person would perpetrate
Mhm.
a lie for such a long time, and still in the midst of the lies, continue it. You know what I'm saying? Continue to lie
Mhm.
after being confronted, after checking certain things out. Just the lie upon lie
Yeah.
is a piece because you see those movie specials. I married a murderer. I married this. A lot of people are you cohabit and don't know who you're cohabitating with.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And I think
And
the scary piece is how many of us have been in these positions where we really don't know who we're with. How much of a risk are we taking sometimes with people, especially now meeting people, via internet, meeting people, as you're out and about, and who nobody is unless after a while you do your own research. But I
Right.
think that's the other scary thing that people just wanted to listen to, like, oh my, you know, can this happen to me? So I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people started evaluating their relationships and listen to this and say, you know what, let me stop. Let me look into this
Yeah.
guy or girl now, because maybe I'm there too. Maybe I'm right in the middle of my own facade. So
Yeah. And I'm gonna ask you this as the married
Exactly.
woman on the show too. Like, you know, you tell us, right? It takes a long time to get to know someone, to really get to know someone, right? And I know you're 30 plus years in, and I'm sure you guys are still discovering things about each other, right? So
sure is.
don't
I
be
mean, the
hasty
other
out
day,
there. Right. Don't be
that's
hasty.
you know, it's this long, it's this lifelong journey. But I think you know, people are, all hurt. People, we're onions. It takes, we have to be unfolded, and knowing about people. But I think there's a core value you want to. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to get a perfect nobody. You're not perfect, nor is anybody else. So I
Yeah.
think in going
Absolutely.
into relationships, looking for perfection is just not realistic.
Yeah.
But I,
Right.
I think what we look for and what we need to really focus on are your core values. What are the values you're looking in for people? They
Yeah.
have they have that, and stick to the values. I think if you look for the values, you'll find the person that connects with you the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. All right. So, maybe more on this topic to come. We did hear that Risa Tisa has a deal out there. So more to come because there may be something in the works for everyone to watch, right? And kudos to her for that. That something like this comes out of her being able to share her story.
Right.
So, everyone out there, we want to go into Ask Fem Talk because we are having such a great time speaking with you, giving insights and opinions around your questions that you send in to Ask Fem Talk. So, here is the question for today. I have a lot of ideas of ways to celebrate and show my friends I love them. Planning dates, holiday celebrations, getting momentous gifts, etc. But I feel like they want this energy specifically from men. Hmm. Is there a way to convince them to participate in these with me, or is it not even worth it? Wow. Now,
Wow.
I want to
Is that
preface
my
this by
question?
saying I don't know what girlfriends, real girlfriends, don't want to
Really?
hang out with real girlfriends. No matter if you want a man in your life or not, like who doesn't want to hang out with your real girlfriends? So I'm gonna let
Absolutely.
you ladies start this off. What do you think, she?
Well, you already said it for me. That's why I said, did I write this question? Because I too, whoever you are, ask Fem Talker, I too am that person that loves to celebrate everything and loves the surprise, the gift giving, the heartfelt notes, all of that wonderful stuff. I too want that from a man. Let's not confuse it. However, it's not happening right now. And if I've learned nothing else in this world, you don't wait until then to get that type of happiness or that type of joy or to feel that type of connection. If I can get it, granted, it's not the one connection where it's man woman, but it's still euphoric. It still gives me joy. It still pleases me that my friends had a good time, that I had a good time, that
Right.
I've celebrated them, they celebrated me. Because in the interim, because we're all waiting, all those who are waiting, in the interim, shouldn't you be prepared to accept that type of affection,
Mm-hmm.
attention, surprise, connection from a man?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether it's woman, man, it's relationships. You have to be receptive of it so that when it does come, you're ready
Yeah.
and able to reciprocate.
Yeah. And I want to add to that really quickly. Don't lose yourself, right? Just thinking
Exactly.
about being in a male female relationship, right? You want to make sure that you still keep parts of you, which part
Exactly.
of that is, making those connections
All
with other
relationships.
people, girlfriends, family members, whatever that looks like for you. So don't lose yourself,
Absolutely.
and I agree with everything you said. Dr. Melissa?
Yeah, I think we're a whole person. I think it's
Yeah.
one sided that only a man can give you these feelings. I mean, and these experiences. Some of my fondest experiences is with my girlfriends. It's with us hanging out. I remember when we was in we went on our and when we went to the advance and we're all in the room and we're talking and we're laughing, or Spider jumped into bed and he was like, I'm sleeping with you. I ain't sleeping with those are the things that I remember and laugh about. I
Right.
love being with my, but to your point, we're a full person. You want experiences with your children, you want experiences with your friends, you want experiences with your loved ones, you want experiences with your family. You should, with your colleagues. There's so many different experiences to take in. Why limit yourself and have an expectation only
Yeah.
this type of relationship can give me this kind of joy?
Yeah.
Then you're missing out on joy. You're missing out on opportunity for joy, for
Mhm.
happiness, for for that aha moment or that exhilaration that comes from doing something you've only done with this person or that person. So I
That's right.
think you limit yourself, and I know what it means to like kind of get bogged down in like a, like I just want this with that person. But be advanced, figure out what you can do with other people, and encourage them to, come on, let's go
Yeah.
Broadway. Let's do Broadway weekend, or let's go, scuba diving or whatever you want to do, and pick it with whoever you think would be best at doing that event. That's another thing.
Exactly.
Some people like certain things, so pick things that work with different people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Absolutely.
And to the latter part of her question, should she just stop trying or and give up? No, don't. Because
yeah,
if you see it and you know it, it's something you've either learned or experienced yourself. So you want to keep pouring into your friends because you want them, like Dr. Melissa said, and like Coach Tracy said, you want them to be whole people. Because it sounds like you are pretty much a whole person. You're going to be this whole complete person ready for whoever comes when they come. So
Yeah.
you want your friends to have that same experience. So I would say just keep pouring into them and helping them to understand that this is the preparation stage. Everybody wants to talk about all the preparation you do for all relationships. You prepare to be a wife, you prepare to be a girlfriend, you prepare to be a mother. Okay, in this interim, this is the interim. Prepare for the
Yeah.
relationship by
Yeah.
being receptive and giving to surprises and interactions and
Yeah.
just having fun, celebrating life, enjoying life, and being in the moment. Being
Yeah.
in the moment.
I love that. And I would
right.
say too, when you're inviting people, right, don't worry about who can and can't go. Just for those who can go in that moment for that particular event, just enjoy those people and then move on. When you do the next event, enjoy the people that can attend and move on, right? And don't take it so personally. Just be able to just enjoy those people at that particular time. However, I do want to say too, when it comes to joy versus happiness, right? Joy is something that's innate. It's innate. It's
Mhm.
not something that anybody else can give you. Happiness is
It's
what you
fleeting.
experience with people in moments, right?
It's
And that
fleeting.
comes and goes, right? Exactly. So I wanted people to remember that you got to find your own joy
Your
within.
own joy
Absolutely.
within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just don't forget that part of it. Joy.
Mhm.
There's a. I'm reading a book right now, so I'm gonna put my pastor on blast right now. Do the new you, right? And one of the mindsets in here is my joy is my job, right? And it
Yes,
resonated with me
right.
so much because I always talk about joy being innate. So who for that person, find your own joy, right? And then create the moments of happiness with the people that you want to share those events with.
Absolutely. I love that. I love
Absolutely.
that.
All right, ladies. So, everyone out there, it is Women's History Month, and International Women's Day is coming up this Friday, March 8th. So, I wanted to read something really quickly, and then we can get into this discussion too. International Women's Day is celebrated on March 8th every year. It emerged in the early 20th century from the labor movements in North America and Europe. It was a protest. It began as a protest for women's rights in New York City in 1908 and was celebrated internationally in 1911. It gained recognition by the United Nations back in 1975. So it took a long time for us to get there, for it to be recognized by the United Nations. Evolving, right? We're going to talk about that too. Evolving into a global day that not only celebrates women's achievements, but also advocates for gender equality, reproductive rights, as well as violence and abuse against women. And there's so much more here about this, but I wanted to also just read globally. Legal restrictions have kept 2.7 billion women from accessing the same choice of jobs as men, and less than 25% of parliamentarians. So just take that for what it's worth with whatever country you're in, right? Where for women, as of 2019, this was as of 2019, 1 in 3 women still experience gender based violence as well. So I just wanted to mention the disparity still globally. This is not just in the United States, this is globally. There's such a huge disparity, around just gender equality for women.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, ladies, what do you think about that?
You know, and one of the reasons why I am so passionate about women's leadership is because of just what you just talked about, Tracy. It is we are still the minority in too many places. Our voice is not part of the final decisions in so many companies, firms, in you name it, from manufacturing to education to finance. We're still not in dominating the boardroom. Yet we dominate middle management, meaning we find ourselves very, we find so many of us are in this middle management, meaning we're supporting the executives, we're giving them the answers, we're doing the work, but we're not making those final decisions. And the reason why, and I'm plug, but the reason why I'm in Summit on Friday is to build and encourage us continue to push forward. We know what the pressures are, the obstacles that we face. It is too important for us to stop. It is too important for us to still be, the experiences are real, and some people get speed up. We say, I'm not again, or I'm not pushing for it. I don't want to become that. And we're minimizing our impact by doing that, and minimizing our voice. The decision that incorporates our views is different than the decisions that are being made that are just male dominated.
Yeah.
A small woman has designed her own shoes. It's one of the famous U.S. Track and field women stars, but she's designing her own shoe. She says, because to date, every sneaker that's out there uses a foot to make it.
That's right.
Something as simple as that, where billions of dollars are around this industry because the men and only men are boardroom making these decisions. No one thought to have a shoe that half women wear to be of a model of a woman's.
Exactly.
Simple. That decision is now only based on a man's foot. So it's and I use that small to see we influence the decision. If we're not in the room, there's no decision that includes our viewpoint.
Yeah.
It's so easily forgettable that those small nuances are not paid attention to. That same example just came up the other day. I was looking at some high top sneakers. I don't want to pitch anything, but some sneakers that I really, really like. And my foot is larger. So the girl who was talking to me was like, just get the women's version. And I kept saying, oh no, I just get the size of the men. Because I'm saying to her, there is no women's version. But she's not hearing me. But this is our reality, because your view is what is it, shaded or clouded because
Dated, yeah.
we think that we've had some progression. So there's great progression, and we're above or past some of these obstacles, and we're not.
Yeah.
Just that one little example shows it perfectly. And I, in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna have this argument. I'm telling her there is not a woman's shoe in this shoe.
Yeah.
If they offer it in a woman's size, just to be specific, it is because it needs to be related to the men's size.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that women are gonna buy it.
Yeah.
They're gonna give you the scale so that you can figure out where you land, but there's no option for a woman's size. You're
Yeah.
not thinking about the specifics when it comes to the toe box or the shape. So
Right.
I applaud her
Yeah.
for realizing that, okay, nobody's gonna do it. I guess I gotta do it. But
Yeah.
But
that
it's
not
2024.
is
It's
that not our way
2024.
anyway?
Yeah. But
Is
you
that
you say that you say it's 2024, right? The article that I was reading, it says no country has achieved gender equality. Not
not
one.
not
Right.
one?
Not one.
Not
Yeah.
one. In the early 20, like in 20 15, 2016, up until prior to the pandemic, there was 12 women leaders globally who led countries. That has diminished to one
Hmm.
today. Only one woman leader leads a country. The fight, Nicholas, he challenged me and he said, like, why is that, mom? It's nice that you say that, but why is it?
Right.
Gender bias is still real. We still look at a man, and just because they're a man, we see them again, men and women, not
Mm-hmm.
just men and
Right.
women, see men as more competent,
Mm-hmm.
stronger, taller, the ability to handle some, visually,
Yeah.
they're stronger to these tasks
Right.
other than and than men than women, and we still see that. We see that in our own election.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Look at how they've come down. Who, may I say, is one of the most influential women across the world is Kamala Harris, and I have not one positive sentiment across the board about the last 3 years she's been in office,
That's
and
right.
she's done her job and done it well. No
Yeah.
controversy, has represented women and so many different platforms, not just for women but for women's rights, or was it, or it's the border issue, or now she was across the border talking about the war with Hamas and everything. She she just had the biggest platform speaking against atrocities. She has done such an amazing job, but everybody's sentiment that she's not qualified.
Yeah.
Right.
She's the vice president, and she's still not qualified, but she
Mhm.
is noted as one of the most influential people in the world.
Yeah.
And you have to applaud that. If we can applaud the women who are stepping up, who are out there, then what are we doing? Because we don't help the situation. We don't help to
Mhm.
turn
Mhm.
the bias around by the support we now give women who then become and get the opportunity to be in power, if it's in a company or in a country,
Exactly.
or in your local community. We
Yeah.
have to learn to support the people who take the risk and go into these positions.
Yeah, and that's what this day is all about, right? It's about recognizing women for our achievements, right?
Right.
For our ethnicity, for our differences, for our
Mhm.
ability to have some economic and political power. It's about all of that. It's about, bringing women to the forefront. And around the globe, women are being celebrated, and there are conferences around the globe also that help to applaud women, to foster women, to build whatever it is that they want to build. Right? We
Mhm.
can get into multiple categories, but that's what this day is all about. To just have a time where we're reflecting on the progress we have
Right.
made, right? But also focusing on the change that needs to happen still for women, because as I said, like that article said, there's no gender equality There's no one
Mhm.
country that has achieved gender equality. So we want to make sure that women are being celebrated, but that we're also fostering leaders, which is, again, shameless plug for Friday, right? On International Women's Day with the Girl
Right.
Bossed Up Women's Leadership Summit, because that's what it's all about: fostering
Right.
leaders, fostering women to raise up, right? To raise
Mhm.
up and to lead in whatever space that they are in. So we want to, I just want to ask people out there too to recognize, what women you have. We've asked this before, right? But what women you have in your communities, that are close to you,
Exactly.
or women that you can think of that are worth celebrating because they're out here leading,
Right.
people in
For
some
sure.
way, shape, or form, right? Let's
For
celebrate
sure.
those women, because that's what this Friday is really all about.
And it's
I
days
love
like
that.
that give you the licensing to do this, to celebrate and to make
Yeah.
mention. Because what I don't want to forget, and it came to mind when Melissa was talking, there's a fear sometimes in promoting women or
Mhm.
standing by them,
Yeah.
or saying, like you said, she's the most influential person, right? A woman right now.
Mhm.
Some people won't want to say it. They don't want to endorse it because that would mean I have either picked a side or I have gone against the greater gain, not the greater
Mm-hmm.
good,
Mhm.
the greater gain.
Mhm.
Love
Because
that.
that puts me
Mm-hmm.
in a place where I have to decide if that changes my livelihood, or if
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
changes my ability to be seen, heard, or to work or to make money. So there's a fear in being the strong woman
Yeah.
in public sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
So
That's
challenge
a
that too,
sad
though,
to
right?
say, right?
I would
It's sad
challenge
to say
that
it has
too,
to be
though,
a
right?
day
Because
for
if
that.
we're, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say this because I'm like, I would challenge that, because if we're not doing what you just mentioned, right? If we're not making waves, there is no real
How
gain.
does it happen exactly?
Yeah, there is no real gain if we're not able to make the waves, right? And then what happens to the next generation of women coming up? If we're not fighting as leaders
Not
now,
to
what
forget that
happens?
part. Right.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened. Like I
Right.
just mentioned, a few years ago there was 12 women leaders. Now there's one. To your
Right.
point. To your point. The one of the things that we have to like grow into, and again, if you want to hear more of this, we have some amazing speakers on Friday, and now we have a virtual. And so if you can't get to us, tune in, and every session is going to be recorded. So, I mean, I'm going to be virtual live. So you'll hear Coach, you'll hear Coach Cassandra, you'll hear professional educator Charlene Blunt, and you'll hear me and my sister Melissa Simmons, and you'll see our co-host Shima Stroud, Coach Shima Stroud, and she talks. And through all of that, we're just presenting who we've been in the workplace, who we are in the community, what we're willing to, men. It excites men to take risk, right? To your point, Shima.
Mhm.
Women, we that doesn't excite us. Risk that makes us scared. Men, right, they feel adrenaline when they have a risk to
Yeah.
take. But we, on the other hand, say, "Whoa, we're going to
Mhm.
sit back on this one." But it is about taking that risk. It's going into that forefront. And think about it this way: it's about representing not just you, but your family, the people that are looking at you, that you are bringing up,
Yeah.
that now as they take their seats, like I have nieces and nephews who are up and coming. They're different fields, looking to be anything. It helps when they see auntie. Well, you see what my auntie's
Absolutely.
doing? You know what I'm
That's
saying? Look
right.
what
That's
auntie's
right.
doing. Now they it's okay to take that risk. It's
That's
okay to go out there and do something different. You don't
Mhm.
have to do the same old thing. So I think, like you said, Shima, we have to like create a mindset that we encourage each other to take the risk. We
Mhm.
encourage each other to, fight that good fight. But when they're there, hold them up when they need to be
Right.
helped. Let
Right.
Yeah.
them know they're not by themselves, that I'm here for
Mhm.
you. How can I help you? How can I support you? So I
Yeah.
think that's
Take the
all of it that
opportunity.
we have to force. Yes.
Yeah. And
That
I think we need to
backbiting.
take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and talk about that how to lift women up, how to foster the leadership in other women, and how to support them once they get there. But let's take a quick commercial break and then we'll come back and discuss that as well.
MRA International is a leading technology expert and a top-ranked Hewlett-Packard partner providing hardware, software, IT solutions, and turnkey results to the public sector. MRA International. We make IT easy.
All right, and we are back and we are celebrating women and celebrating Women's International Day today. So let's bring the ladies back in.
Hey.
Hello, hello. So before we took that commercial break, we were just about to discuss how to foster leaders and then how to support them when they get there. So what would you ladies say on how to help build leaders, right? And then the support.
I think the first, I think the first step you need to pose to women is, what do you want to do? I don't work every workplace I walk into. I ask anybody that's me, what do you want to accomplish? What do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? And and undoubtedly, almost, and I'm saying undoubtedly, almost 80% of the people I ask this question to say nobody ever asked me that question.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nobody ever even asked these people in the workplace the question.
Yeah.
So that ability to even, imagine yourself at a different level wasn't even posed to them.
That's right.
Or even thought they had the opportunities. I think the first step is to, as you're in these workplaces, as you're in these settings, is to ask the question.
Yeah.
See what people want to become or what they want to do. What was your dream when you started this job? Well, I didn't have one. Well, now that you're here, what do you want to make it become?
Exactly.
And I have these conversations all the time. And the beautiful thing, also this, a little bit of that sadness I feel is when I ask that question and undoubtedly somebody starts crying because nobody asked them, or they were waiting for somebody to ask them. And I feel sad because nobody did, but I'm so excited because I knew I tapped into something. And when I heard that tear or that welling up, and I would love to do this, and then to watch them do it, it's beautiful because that's all somebody needs. So I think the question, that first question, and if you're and I don't think you have to be in a leadership position to even ask it. If you're around the lunch table, you're going out to, you're in the break room. Ask it, what do you want to do in 5 years? What do you see yourself?
And it make me think about. Oh, go ahead, Shima.
I was gonna say, and most of the time, it's not even to make you a leader or develop your leadership skills. It may be you may already have it. It may be to make you seen, to make you heard. Because if I'm an innate leader, because there are innate leaders, they have the skills. But if nobody ever acknowledged, nobody recognized, nobody even asked that one question, like you said, who am I? Another licensing. I almost don't have the license or the go ahead to lead, even though I have the leadership skills.
And I want to mention something there.
For that.
Yeah.
or showed me how to open the door.
Yeah. I want to mention something there because I know Dr. Melissa was talking earlier about, women are not typically risk takers.
Right.
And I have definitely been a risk taker. So I know, Dr. Melissa, you do vision boards and passion boards
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the year for people. And I challenge people, even in your career, it's not just about entrepreneurship, it's not just about your family life, even in your career, whatever it is that you envision or you want for yourself, you should have those career goals on your vision board. You should have a plan outlines for your vision board because, as you can see, there's such a big disparity between women and men, and they're not always going to hand it to you. And if you don't have other women leaders out there that are going to help you grow and help you build and ask the question like Dr. Melissa, you're going to have to make your own waves. And a
Right.
part of, I always thought about when I'm interviewing, when I am in management, or when I am looking at my own managers, I'm assessing everybody. You're
Mm-hmm.
not just
Exactly.
assessing me, I'm assessing you
Exactly.
because
That's
I need
ego.
to take a look at that company, at the
Mhm.
teams, and figure out now how am I going to make my waves with
Right.
integrity, right? But
Hmm.
how am I going to make
Mhm.
my waves? So I
Right.
challenge people out there to think about it
And what
from
they're
that
fostering.
perspective too, because women
Yeah.
need to start building themselves up as well. You cannot wait for somebody to give you something. And if you want to be recognized and if you want to be seen, you're going to have to put yourself in certain positions where you can be. Be it from the, one
Mhm.
task, one deliverable, maybe that you need to take it at a time. And maybe you put it in front of people that are in a position to see you, right?
To see,
But yeah.
You don't
there
want to
was two
forget
situations
that you're
I have.
gonna. Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, no, no.
Now I was just saying. I just wanted to make sure we don't forget that our fan base is every woman.
Hmm.
Is every woman. So
Hmm.
your vision, when you hear her say, make it plain, plan out, make the vision for your career, make
Hmm.
the vision for your home, for your family, for your house.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what facet of life you're in. If you're a
Yeah.
leader in your home, meaning you're the mom and there's children, you have a vision for what you want in your household.
Hmm.
If you're a
Right.
mom and a working mom, you got a couple of visions. You
Hmm.
got a one for
Right.
your household and one for your career.
Hmm.
One for your
So,
career.
like she said, it doesn't have to be entrepreneurship, but your leadership skills are developed in every or introduced in every aspect of your life, no
Hmm.
matter
Right.
what your title, job, position,
Hmm.
location, you still lead.
Still
So make a
lead.
vision for whatever your leadership position is.
And,
Yeah. I love
and
that
I
you
think
said
that's,
vision.
yeah. This is not about a title. Women's leadership, Women International Month is not about a title. These are people that have been in the forefront or have taken the to just go out there and lead. Some by
Yeah.
desperation, some by happenstance, some accidentally fell into it. But
Yeah.
That's right.
whatever they are, they've made it, and that's what we want to celebrate. I had two
Yeah.
situations recently. One was it was a woman I worked with in actually in Shima. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And she went for a position. It was a clerical position she went for, and she didn't get it. For
Mm.
reason she was upset, and she said, "Would you mind?" She asked she couldn't even ask Shima, but she asked somebody, "Could she speak to me?" Because she
Mm.
knew I loved to, to the women and encouraging them. So I said, "Come on in." And she came into the office and I spoke. I said, "She said I applied for this position and I tried to get it and they didn't give it." So upset. And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" "Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure." I said, "Well, do you have your degree?" She says, "Yeah, I got my degree in social work or guidance." It was like a big degree she had. I said, "Whoa,
Mhm.
whoa, whoa! Why are you going for?" I said, "Whoa, whoa! Why are we going for the secretarial position?" She said,
Mhm.
"Well, I don't know. I don't know." I said, "Look, I think you need to look into." I said, "I think this is a blessing in disguise. Let's focus on what you really want to do and what you really want." And she had never thought about it. She had never contemplated. I don't know what had happened in her thinking, but she never
Mm.
contemplated this. And I said,
Right.
let me consider what we could really do,
Mm-hmm.
what you in your heart may really want to do.
Mhm.
Literally, I was in Stu Leonard's about for CJ's birthday like 3 weeks ago. Melissa, I went, oh, she said, guess what I am? She said she's a social worker in the district. She said, you remember you talked to me? And I was like, oh my gosh. I said, I'm so proud of you. She said, no. It was just one simple question
Yeah.
that she didn't even thought about, that this was an opportunity. That's what, that for what you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
That what you're capable of being. And I think that's the kind of thing we have to continue to encourage other is, where do you want
Yeah.
to go? Let's do it.
Yeah, and this is so significant because it feeds into the mindset that we've been given, right? That we're not worthy of,
Right.
a title or, some higher level of leadership, right? Where this woman who now has this degree and is now demoting herself before she even gets somewhere, right? That's the mindset that we've been given by
So
all of
much.
the countries, right? In all of the countries for women around the globe. That's the mindset, which is why this day, this Friday, is so important, right? And again, when I was reading that article before too, they talked about, to celebrate women's courage and their determination, right? Because
Right.
we have to be determined to move things forward for ourselves. There was a fight, right? And I don't listen, I can't quote the years for you in history because I'm not a historian, but there has always been a fight, right? We had to fight to vote, we had to fight to be able to go out and work the jobs, and that
That's
it
not true.
continues to
That's right.
be a fight. But
That's right.
continue the fight, ladies. Don't demote yourself, right? Recognize who you are and what you bring to the table, and let's
Right.
drop the mindset around we can't, and
Mhm.
show them that we can, right? That's what this day is all about. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to mention that.
Absolutely.
Have the courage. Because this is now the second story that you've told, Dr. Melissa, about someone who was basically demoting themselves, right?
Exactly.
And counting themselves out before they can even get to where they need to be. So we don't want to do that anymore, ladies. We want to make sure that you all out here are celebrating yourselves, celebrating
Mhm.
what you know, understanding who you are and what you bring to the table, and being able to stand firm and strong on that,
Right.
and show them, girl. You heard Niecy Nash when she gave her speech, right? She said she was going to celebrate herself, pat herself on the back. She said, because
Right.
you did that, girl.
That's
I
right. She said, because I did that.
That's right. That's
Did
right.
that.
So
And
that's the
that's what we
attitude
got
I
to
want
get
every woman
to.
to have. Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
got to get to that, because it's that encouragement. Another quick story. Again, walked into this new place I'm at. And I said, and the woman I told again asked that question. She said, and again, I've been waiting 17 years for somebody to recognize me. I said,
That's what I'm talking about.
well,
Don't.
today's your day, boo. I said, well, now
Right.
are you me? So today's your
Right.
day. I'm going to be recognizing you. And immediately
Mhm.
brought it into meetings, immediately gave her assignments, immediately, can you handle it? And
Yeah.
everything beautifully, everything done to perfection. And I
Absolutely.
was at lunch with some other people today, and they said, I never knew she was capable of that.
Because she
And I
never, nobody saw her.
said,
Nobody saw her.
But that goes
You
back
it
to
take
that
the time.
mindset again. That
Right.
goes back to that mindset again.
the
17, think
mindset.
about that. 17 years where she sat in the
Mhm.
same place. We have to get out of that. We got to kick the doors down. Put your
And I
heels on
challenge
and
men
kick them
out there.
down.
If
Yeah.
I want to challenge the men out there, for you men that's listening,
Mhm.
think of your daughters, your daughters, your nieces, your sisters for that matter. And if it think about giving them an opportunity, you'd be upset. You wouldn't stand for it. So if
Yeah.
you have the opportunity to ask a woman, men love women working for them, because we are hard workers, and I've heard
Yes,
men
sir.
say this. I'd rather work with women than men, because
Mhm.
women will get the job.
Yeah.
One man said it as like this: they may be a little emotional. I'll deal with the emotion, but I'll get the projects done.
Yeah, and
That's
take
right.
that stigma off of us
Back
too
of the
as
head,
well.
but anyway,
Yeah,
you know,
but take that stigma off, right? That they feel like we're so emotional that we can't handle things. We're running households, we have children, we're still out here running businesses, working in our careers. So we're not that emotional that we can't handle things and get the job done.
right.
So
What they
let's take
say,
that stigma
to
out
have
of
the
it.
baby and go back to work. Stop it. No, no,
Right.
no, no, no,
Hello.
no,
Holding it.
no, no, no. You
Hello.
have a C-section and go back to work 6 weeks after and tell me you're happy.
That's right.
You know what I'm
Matter of
saying?
fact, I
No,
want to
no.
start with them going to get waxed and see how they
What?
feel,
Something,
and then go
something,
back to work.
something.
But
Talk about we can't do that. We
Right.
strong
Right.
and the emotion. And let me highlight that. Just and I know we're cutting down on time, but let me just
yeah,
say this: the emotion that we bring to these jobs is what makes the difference.
yeah.
That's right.
It
Amen.
is an
There's a
asset.
passion for
Don't
work,
ever let nobody
passion for
tell you
completion.
that your emotions are something negative. It is an asset that most companies need and desire and will allow them to reach another level. So with the emotion,
Right.
here we come.
That's
Here
right.
we
Amen to
come.
It has
that.
nothing to
When
do
I
with
say,
not having it. It's the control of it.
That's
We,
right.
you yield your control, your passion, your emotion in a positive manner. You gonna do the damn thing.
Amen.
What?
You
And
Amen.
do it
control it.
well. And do it
Yeah.
well.
That's
I
right.
don't care if you're crying while you do it. Do it and cry and do it
Right.
well.
Go in the
Bring
bathroom
it
and
all.
cry and come on back because we all do it.
Bring it all. That's
There
right.
you go. There
That
you
thing gonna
go.
get done. Well.
Right.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we want to just say, go out there, celebrate the women in your life, and celebrate on Women's International Day and help another woman get to their next level. Support women in all of their endeavors. We love you all. We thank you for
Yes.
being
Oh,
here.
wait, join us. There's a virtual option for the women's leadership. So if you drmelissa.com and you could join the virtual option if you're really into women's leadership or you know somebody who you will love to be participating. If they get to the summit, we do have a virtual option. So join us on Friday.
Amen.
Happy Women's International Day.
Take care, everyone.